You ever get that itch to just build something? To take a few pieces of wood or metal and turn them into something totally new, something you made? It's an awesome feeling. And today, we're going to walk through how to get started, but more importantly, how to do it safely. Because the best projects are built with skill, sure, but also with a real respect for your tools. So if you're ready, let's dive in. This explainer is your first step. It's the blueprint for building not just a cool project, but for building safe habits that are going to stick with you for life. And that foundation, it starts right here with what I like to call the golden rules. These are the things you need to burn into your brain before you even think about picking up a tool. Think of it as your pre-flight safety check. Look, your creativity, your ability to make cool stuff, it's tied directly to how seriously you take safety. They're not two different things, they're really two sides of the same coin. A safe workshop is a creative workshop, period. Let's laser focus on a couple of these that are absolute non-negotiables. First up, rule number 1, safety glasses. They must always be worn. I mean it, no exceptions. And then rule number 3, always cut material away from your body. These are not suggestions, okay? They're basically the laws of physics in the workshop. And safety doesn't stop when you put the tool down. It's about how you handle them all the time. Rule 8 is a perfect example. If a tool is sharp, you carry it with the pointy end facing the floor. And Rule 10, a classic for beginners, a tape measure is a precision instrument, not a toy to snap back and forth. And in this last set of rules, we've got what might be the single most important idea of them all. Rule 14, know what a tool is for and the right way to use it. Every tool has a job it was designed for. The trouble starts when we try to make it do something else. All right. With that safety foundation firmly in place, let's start our project. Every great build doesn't start with a cut. It starts with a measurement. Getting it right here saves you a world of headaches later on. This is where we bring the blueprint to life. First up, the good old tape measure. Its job is simple, right? Measure stuff. But the safety is specific. Remember Rule 10? Don't just let that tape slam shut. The source material paints a pretty vivid picture. Think about getting a deep paper cut, but from a fast-moving metal edge. Yeah, let's avoid that. Next, to make sure our lines are perfectly straight and at a 90-degree angle, we've got the tri-square. This little guy is key to making sure your project isn't crooked. Just be gentle with it. The source warns that banging it on a table can actually knock it out of square, making it useless. And our last marking tool is the Scratch All. It's got 2 main gigs, scribing super precise lines and making little pilot holes for nails or screws. But just look at that point. The safety rule is simple, but so important. Carry it point down, and this is a big one, do not use it to pry things apart. It's for making marks, it's not a tiny crowbar. Okay, our lines are marked, our plan is solid. Now it's time to actually give our project some shape. We're moving on to the cutting phase, which means it's time to talk about saws. So this is a crosscut saw. It's designed for one thing, cutting across the grain of the wood. And the procedure here is really important. First, you always clamp your material down so it doesn't move. You start the cut by making a few gentle pull strokes toward you. That just scores the wood. Then, you push forward, keeping a steady 45-degree angle. So why do you need different saws for different cuts? Well, it all comes down to the teeth. A crosscut saw has teeth that are angled like tiny, sharp knives designed to slice through the wood fibers. But a rip saw, its teeth are shaped like little chisels, made to scoop out wood along the grain. Using the right saw makes the job way easier, cleaner, and, you guessed it, safer. Now, for finer, more precise work, think joinery, like dovetails, you'll want a back saw. See that stiff metal rib on the top? That's the back, and it keeps the thin blade from bending. The technique is a little different. You still clamp your work, you still start with a few strokes towards you, but then you keep the saw parallel to the wood to get that super clean, accurate cut. We've measured, we've marked, we've cut, the pieces are ready. Now we get to the really satisfying part, seeing it all come together. It's time to assemble our project and add those final finishing touches. And for that, we bring out one of the most fundamental tools there is, the hammer. Now, there are different types. You got your claw hammers for pulling nails, your rip hammers for framing, but the safety rules are pretty much universal. Okay, now listen up, because this is a rule you might not guess on your own, and it is critically important. Never bang 2 hammers together. You might think, what's the big deal? But those hammerheads are made of hardened steel. if you strike them against each other, they can fracture and shatter like glass, sending sharp metal bits flying. Seriously, don't do it.
And here are the other big ones. Of course, watch where your other hand is. For tiny nails, where you can't get your fingers out of the way, use a nail set for those last few taps. And for the most power and control, you want to hold the handle near the very end. That's where you get the best leverage.
Next up for assembly, the humble screwdriver. Its job is simple: drive screws. But two safety rules are absolutely key. First, use the right size and type of bit for the screw. If it doesn't fit snugly, you'll just strip the screw head and get frustrated. And second, and this is a huge one, never hold the project in one hand while you're pushing the screwdriver with the other. If that screwdriver slips off the screw, your hand is the only thing there to stop it. Pliers. They're like a super strong extension of your hand for gripping, bending, and squeezing things. The main safety warning here sounds almost too simple, but it's so true. Just be careful not to pinch yourself or anybody else. It's so easy to do when you're focused on the work, so just always be aware of where your fingers are. And for those final touches, smoothing edges and shaping parts, we use a file. Technique is everything here. First, make sure that handle is on there good and tight. You want to use two hands, one on the handle, one guiding the tip for the best control. And here's the key thing to remember. A file only cuts on the forward stroke. So push to cut and then lift it up slightly on the way back. So we've gone from a plan on paper to a project taking shape, from measuring and marking all the way to the final finish. And through this whole process, there's been one single idea connecting everything. And that's really what it all boils down to. See, safety isn't about holding you back. It's about empowering you to do good work, to come back and do it again tomorrow, and to actually enjoy the process without getting hurt. When you respect your tools, you understand what they can do, what they can't do, and how to use them the right way. So there you have it. You've got the foundation. You have the rules. The tools are waiting. The only thing left to decide is what you're gonna build. So get out there, be safe, and make something amazing.